Hey, what's up? Back with another video, and something else broke on the RX-8. And it was on my way home from work last night, and well, I guess it is serious to some degree, but it's nothing serious like other things that have failed in other ways that are worse. But let me show you real quick. So anyone that knows me as far as like RX-8s and stuff are concerned, you'd probably know that I'm really big on OEM Mazda Speed RX-8 stuff. And, you know, I talk about it, I hype it up here and there and whatever, but the hype isn't always what it seems. So here, you see one of my front coilovers completely covered in debris and stuff, and that is because the shock exploded. You know, a seal failed in it and lost all pressure, and yeah, there's like oil or whatever that fluid exactly is everywhere. And see, the way I knew that something was wrong was, well, obviously there's no pressure in my shock anymore, so no more dampening or whatever. And I thought my front end link had snapped, because that's happened before. And well, that, as you just saw, or I think you just saw, I don't know, I couldn't see under what you were saying just now, but yeah, I thought that snapped, but it was perfectly fine. But I was experiencing rod knock. Now, what I find funny about this is the fourth time that I've had issues with something piston related in my rotary car. The first two times were both my rear Mazda Speed coilovers snapping the rods, piston rod snapped, so I got rod knock 2 times from that. The third time was my slave cylinder failing, and that caused the clutch to kick the shit out of itself really hard, and that resulted in the 143,000 mile clutch exploding. And well, this is the fourth time. Shock losing pressure and, you know, bottoming out constantly every time it hits a bump. So that's very annoying. But here's my solution: OEM Bilstein shocks and Bilstein PSS9 coilover springs, and some coilover conversion stuff and lock collar stuff. I'll go over that in just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple of things that you'll need in order to do this conversion. And first and foremost, what you'll need is a factory shock. Depending on what model RX-8 or NC Miata you have, I think NC Miata is in the same boat, but you'll either have a Takiko shock, which is pretty much all models of the RX-8, or if you have a 40th anniversary R3, or if you want a special few with a Spirit R model, then you'll have Bilstein shocks like these. Next up, you'll need a set of Allstar Performance height adjustable sleeves with an inner diameter of 2 inches, because that's what the Bilstein shock is. And let's see, the spring perch is for 2.5 inch inner diameter springs. So these being 2.5 inch, those in a second. Let's see. So I contacted Bilstein about having new circlip grooves milled into these shocks, and they will not touch them because they are Mazda branded. They're OEM shocks. If they're the aftermarket models that they sell, then they'll do it all day for like 10 bucks or something per circlip groove. But they will not touch these as per their policy. So the workaround that I chose to go with for that is shaft collars, or lock collars, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Put the link for these in the description below. Actually, all these things except for the springs, I'll put in the description below so you can go check them out for yourself. But so you have that installed on here, and it's just a placeholder. That's all it is. So put this over the shock body, just holds right there, just like that. And if you look right here, this shiny stuff is aluminized tape. So aluminized tape, I don't know where my whole roll is, but yeah, that's all it is. It's just tape that's aluminized. And the reason for that is to eliminate slop with the sleeve over the shock body. I'm gonna put this over. As you can see, there's a lot of slop right there. So to eliminate that, use the aluminized tape. Use as much as you feel is needed until it's nice and snug when you put it over. And last but not least, you'll need whatever springs you decide to go with. So I have two different types of springs here. Springs from my Ibach/OEM Mazda Speed Multi-Pro R1 kit. These are 2.5 inch inner diameter, which is the correct spring for this sleeve. Minimal soft there. But the springs I'm actually going to be using is the Bilstein PSS9 coilover springs. And see, I detailed this in my last video, but you cannot buy these separate from the kit. I found these on eBay for 185 bucks shipped for the front and rear, listed as brand new. Saw that as a good deal, and I look at it as a OEM plus type upgrade for the Bilstein shocks. But the downside is that they are slightly bigger than a 2.5 inch inner diameter. So I have a little bit of slop, which isn't ideal, but it's not a deal breaker. But I did go to a shop called Allstar Garage here in Clearfield, Utah. Talked to them about it, asked them about these lock shaft collars and making this adapter. And they said the amount of slop that's with these springs and the spring perch should be perfectly fine. I shouldn't have any issues. And the BC coilovers that they run typically have around that amount of slop. Next up, you'll need to modify your bump stops or buy new ones. Preferably just modify the ones you have. They're in good shape. This one was pretty cracked on the end of it, but the main body of it was perfectly fine. You want to shorten these because you're lowering your car and you don't want to be bottoming out constantly if you're going over like heavy dips or something like that, or speed bumps or something like that. Then yeah, that's why you want to cut your bump stops. But if you really want to, you can buy, I think, NB or NC Miata ones, something like that. They're about this size anyway. But yeah, just cut your bump stops and you'll be good from there. And that's pretty much all you need to do the fronts. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get on to assembly. So where is my thing? There it is. So when you have your proper spacing with the aluminized tape, and then you have your lock collar thing where you want it, go ahead and work your sleeve down the shock body. That's snug. That's a snug boy. Oof. Ow, that hurt. Oh, oh God. Ow. Yeah, this isn't going nowhere. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Oh. Ow. Ow. Oh, why am I so stupid? All right, so first we're gonna go ahead and put our springs on. Let's see. Then go ahead and put our bump stop on. Just like so. Let's see. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put our top hat thing on. Then we're gonna go ahead and put, our first washer on, like this. Was that the bevel side or what is that? Dowel pin with washer. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our top pad on. Get that lined up. Second bushing. And then second washer with the bevel side down. I believe that's the bevel side. And then we can go ahead and put our top nut on, which is a 17 millimeter. You'll also need a Allen key and of course your 17 millimeter wrench to go ahead and tighten it on down, because this shaft does not like to stay in place. It does spin. Okay, so there's a fully assembled coilover assembly. But yeah, from here you want to be able to find out where exactly you want your height to be when it's on the car. But yeah, this is ready to go on the car now, after I tighten that nut all the way. Okay, let's get a better look at the damage. Okay, so, I mean, basically what you saw before, But yeah, this whole over control arm is pretty messy looking. RIP in pieces. Okay, so of course we're gonna need to take the shock off. So what you want to do is undo your strut tower bar, so you can undo these bolts, lift it all the way up. See there, you want to take a 17 millimeter wrench. Let's see, these nuts are welded in place, so you don't got to worry about those. So yeah, just a 17 millimeter wrench or socket. Then down here, you're gonna need two 17 millimeter wrenches and or sockets. And yeah, then you just undo that. And this whole assembly will just fall right down and go from there. Okay, so it's like drip leaking. That's how bad it is. Even left a little bit of a puddle right there. So yeah, this I mean, it's rebuildable, but it's dead for now. Whatever. The bright side of this is this will give me a chance to figure out how I'm going to modify it when I rebuild it to work on my RX-7. Because that's what I plan to do with them, is put these on my RX-7, and that'll be very, very fun. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning up in here and get this installed. Okay, so it's pretty much for the most part installed. It's all tightened up down there and or up there. What am I saying? Anyway, all I got left to do is preload and then figure out where I want my height to be. I think it should be good as is, but of course I won't really know until I get it back on the ground. But let's see, for those of you who don't know what preloading is, it's where you leave these bolts and nuts and stuff loose. Then you take your jack, you jack up the bottom of your lower control arm until the car is off the jack stand, and then you know, after it's doing that kind of stuff, then you tighten everything up, and then you don't wear the shit out of your bushings. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, preload set. So now I'm gonna put the wheel back on, lower it down, and see how it sits. All right, so I'm guessing it's gonna lower a bit more on its own after it breaks itself in. But just right off the bat, putting 2 fingers in. And compared to this side, this side's a little bit higher, but this is actually maxed out as low as it can go. So yeah. I think for now it's fine as is. Shouldn't have to worry about anything. But again, if I do need to raise it or something like that, then I can. I have plenty of room to do that. But I think it's good just like that. So I have to jack it back up, take the wheel off, and then tighten that lock screw down, and then I'll be good to go. Okay, car's back on the ground, and before I put the wheel back on and everything, I did adjust it up slightly. So let's see if there's any difference. Yeah, slightly, not very much, but enough. I'm happy with it. See how it is on my way to work, I guess. Maybe I might take the RX-7 still. I'm putting off taking it to work for the last few days just because of the weather. But I know, I'm curious to see how this works out. So I might just take this again anyway. Anyway, hope you liked this video and you learned something from it or helped you out in some way. If you have any questions at all about anything, I'd be more than happy to answer any of them. you need help finding parts or something like that, or you're just not sure about something that I showed you. I know this wasn't the best video for this type of thing, but whatever, it's just something I'm doing before I go to work. But gotta go get ready for work right now, and I'm messy as shit, so we do that now. Comment, like, subscribe, and all that stuff, share and whatever, and see ya.